So, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, representing Minnesota's 5th District, has announced that she is going to present 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump tomorrow. The first article of impeachment is abuse of power related to Trump's efforts to overturn the Georgia election. The second article of impeachment is incitement of violence related to the violent fascist terrorist insurrection that occurred on the 6th of January. For what it's worth, Nancy Pelosi says that she expects the impeachment effort to move forward, unless Vice President Mike Pence invokes the 25th Amendment. So, either way, Donald Trump is being removed from the White House and from the presidency. Let's talk about why Donald Trump needs to get impeached again. I have a whole section here about the process of impeachment and how it works, but there are other people who can explain that process better than me. Go out, find them, share that amongst yourselves. So in my mind, the primary reason to impeach Donald Trump for the crimes that he did is the same reason that you wanted to impeach him the first time: to establish precedent. It cannot be understated. Donald Trump, the president, tried to overturn a lawful election because it was not in his favor. And when that failed, Donald Trump, the president, incited a violent fascist terrorist insurrection in order to maintain power. And it's come out now that he came a lot closer to that goal than anyone would have expected, than even his followers would have expected. It may have been just one person that kept the Senate from being lynched on the 6th. So to Capitol Security Officer Eric Goodman, I say to you, you are hereby exempt from all ACAB statements. You are a good cop. But it needs to be understood that if Donald Trump isn't punished, especially for the violent insurrection, then other elected officials, not just the president, could attempt the same thing. It cannot be understated that Donald Trump has personally empowered an entire generation of violent fascist insurrectionists, and those people are going to attempt to take office. In some cases, they have already succeeded in taking office. And having a process in place, having a precedent in place to prosecute people who try to do that, makes it easier to try them in the future. No faffing around. That's not exactly to say that prosecuting Donald Trump will prevent other instances of violent insurrection from happening, but it'll make it easier to prosecute those instances when they are done by federally elected officials. The second reason to prosecute Donald Trump is to maintain the safety and security of the United States. But not necessarily in the way that you think. I know I keep beating on this drum, but it cannot be understated that the violent fascist terrorist insurrection that occurred on the 6th of January was an attempt to keep Donald Trump in power. They were doing that for him. And if you remove Donald Trump from power, then the pretext for that violence is gone. Now, that won't ensure that violence doesn't happen at all. There were people at the insurrection saying that they were only there for the violence, but it will lessen it significantly. Also, I imagine that preventing future violence is forefront in the minds of the people in Congress. The people who did the insurrection did say they would come back. There are also a couple of things I want to address that are not reasons to remove Trump from power, but are not reasons to remove Trump from power. Not quite misinformation, but rhetoric that isn't exactly true. Let's say it like that. And the primary thing I'm seeing, especially from lefty people, is that they want to remove Trump from power. The fact of the matter is Donald Trump does not have very much power anymore. His insurrection failed. He's going to be out in less than a week. Maybe less than that. Not only does Donald Trump not have any meaningful amount of power left, but the most power that he ever had was as a populist figurehead. And he doesn't have that anymore. Social media stripped him of that power. The second and much more important misconception, at least to me, is that we need to remove Trump from power in order to begin healing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Donald Trump hasn't done harm to this country. He has. But the harm he's done is at the behest of an ideology. An ideology of white nationalism, of fascism, of a certain kind of American exceptionalism. And removing him from power will not remove that ideology from power. That ideology is still sitting in Congress. And not just the federal Congress. It is sitting in every Congress in every state in this nation. And every police station in this country. And removing that ideology, cleaning that wound, is not the responsibility of any elected official. Or any unelected official. It is the responsibility of the people of this country. It is down to us. Well, I hope that's all I had to say about that, because I am all sayed out. Regular links are in the underbar. That's my Ko-Fi, if you feel like sending me a few dollars, if you thought that this was informative or entertaining enough to support. Please do not feel obligated to support me monetarily. I'm going to keep doing this, whether or not I have the means to do so, more or less. I only barely have the means to do so now. I'm trying to fix my computer, but I need money to do that. Any money you send to me would probably go to that. There's my Curious Cat, which I don't have access to, don't go there. And there's my Twitter, where I've been goofing off. I made a joke post about how Joe Biden is continuing the violent rhetoric of Donald Trump by saying that we need $2,000 checks, and I am expecting my mentions to have been nuked. The next video I want to make is about freedom of speech and freedom of expression, more so, and how absolutism in those things is not only bad, but is straightforward nonsense. So, maybe look forward to that. And until we get there, take care of yourselves, alright?